Welcome back. I am joined with Ryan, owner of CS BizCon, and we were talking about succession planning, and that obviously is with the established business owners or owner and that entrepreneur. But there's also an exciting thing that's been happening ever since COVID, and that entrepreneurship has been increasing, especially among younger generations, the millennials, Gen Zs, that they're working out. But also, interestingly enough, more women are starting to open their own businesses. And as I'm all about empowering women and, well, any populace, but women, I really want to get into some of the legal risks in entrepreneurship. So, Ryan, can you just tell our audience what are some of the most significant legal risks that new entrepreneurs should be aware of?
So the immediate accountant is going to jump out in me and the unawareness of tax liability. For example, I have a house cleaner that comes over multiple times a week. She cleans the office as well, and she was going around and collecting cash and checks largely off the radar, not on purpose, but out of naivety. And so I said, hey, we're kind of starting to put you in a decent position. You understand that now that you're cleaning my business, I have to give you a 1099 at the end of the year. What's that? What does that mean? And so now X amount of dollars goes to you in the 1099. You have to pay taxes on that. You haven't tracked expenses. You don't know how to track and document your situation. Others, we have helped my son start. He's actually starting his second business. My son's an entrepreneur as well. So he has a mobile detailing business for luxury and exotic automobiles. And he didn't realize that when he charges people this fee, there's part of his service is subject to sales tax, but other things are not subject to sales tax. He had no clue he even had to pay sales tax. I thought I was just washing cars, right? And so teaching new entrepreneurs to be aware of the various liabilities. So that's the accountant side. The other side as well is I'll go back to my son's example. If he's got a nice car that he's detailing, but it's got a ding or a dent on it, you need to go liability protect yourself, do an inspection of that car real quick and say, hey, Johnny, just let you know you got a ding here and a scratch there prior to me. So that way I don't get blamed for it, right? And then you clean the car. And you need to have insurance and you need to have some type of LLC in place so that your liability is limited. So they don't come after you, the person, they come after you, the business, and your assets are protected and only limited to what is structured under that. And they don't get your house and your car and your retirement account. So these legal setups and these veils, these corporate veils that you need to put in place for somebody to pierce a corporate veil on you at that point, you have to do something grossly negligent or malicious. Otherwise, you're protected under the insurance and the assets that are kept in the company. And again, those two things are, the taxes and the liability, they run in conjunction with each other. So I try to avoid the legal work and I refer out to our local practicing corporate attorney. And then I really drive hard and heavy into liability considerations, and of course, the tax planning, the tax savings, and getting your butt out of trouble with the state governments and the IRS.
Well, and that's all. I mean, of course, you're like me. I always say, look, I can answer certain legal questions, but when it comes to accounting, when it comes to some of the integral parts of business, I always go to experts like yourself, Ryan, to go, hey, I have a client, I need to refer them out. And I just love that first of all, love that your son is already getting into following dad's footsteps and getting into the business game and opening up two now. That's amazing. So congratulations on that. And so let's continue talking about your son, using him as example. So here he is. He already has started up his mobile detailing of luxurious cars, and he's starting the second one. How can startups like himself protect themselves legally while pursuing the rapid growth? Because obviously he wants to not be the sole person cleaning cars. He wants to expand.
Yeah, I love this question. And in fact, that question was asked to me by young entrepreneurs. I have an entire kind of leadership and entrepreneur lab that I help people with. And I have a path called the Freedom 15. And the Freedom 15 says if you start your business, it's specifically for new entrepreneurship. If you start your business, whether you're 20 years into it and you just want to start another endeavor, or you're brand new, you're 16, 17, you want to go wash cars, right? If you follow these Freedom 15, it literally will give you financial freedom, prison freedom, tax freedom, and it will give you all of these freedom steps. So I go out there and I walk them through this process. And some of them are softer, more like, hey, you have to pick a cool business name, right? It's got to have domains that are available. It's got to resonate. It's got to have some meaning. It's got to explain, so that's an easy one, right? But you got to identify exactly what it is you're going to sell. How is it going to be resourced out? How is it going to do that? You got to pick a cool business name. You got to analyze, exactly what it takes for you to execute your service or create and deliver your product. So you got to process yourself from the very beginning. Most people don't track their processes, but we're doing it on step 3. Okay. And then you go and develop a method to go execute the delivery, to deliver on that promise, to provide that product or service. What is your method going to be? So his is mobile detailing. That's what makes him stand apart. It's a better, clean, brought to you is the name motto of his company, right? And then how are you going to efficiently and effectively repeat these services? You need redundancies, you need automation as much as possible, and that way you can scale and grow, just like the other half of the question. So if you can do this all yourself and you can do 30 cars a week, can you do 60 or 75 cards if you bring on a buddy? Get your method, get your system, introduce and train. Then you got to create schedules and delivery and inventory that's recurring. So you can't say no to a job because my soap hasn't come in, it's on back order. You're ahead of those things, right? And then you organize and you register your business after you have that entire plan. So actually creating the business is halfway through. It's step number 7. Okay. And then once you're step number 8, after you have your service menu, you know exactly what you're going to do in all these arenas. Step number 8, the halfway point of the Freedom 15 is actually go organize your business. Articles of organization, EIN, register with the state. If you're going to be a corporate, go get your LLET, things like that, and get your local permit, things like that. And then you avoid all this liability. And the county doesn't come knocking on your door, say, hey, give me taxes for the last 3 years. We just found out you're doing business in the county, right? So we're protecting tax planning, entity selection, all of these best practices and procedures. And then you're good to go. Start selling and marketing yourself. Then you can finally collect money. Step 11 is collect money, right? People don't realize they want to go out and sell it and get money right away. No, if you're truly going to liability protect yourself, if you're truly going to position yourself to grow and scale, collecting money doesn't come until you've got 1 through 10 done. Then you set up your vendor accounts, you get recurring things, you document and you record everything in the existing operations, income and expenses, AR, AP, financial statements, all that kind of stuff. Then step 14, congratulations. Now, after all that other stuff is paid, you get to pay yourself with what's left, right? So think about a 16-year-old getting flooded with this information saying, I don't get to pay myself until 1 through 13 is done. Yeah, welcome to the big boy world, the big girl world, right? This is entrepreneurship. And then you finish all of your compliance, you finish all of your reporting, and you might even have to do it monthly or weekly based on if you develop payroll, if you develop sales tax and things like that. And you have to do the compliance reporting. And then guess what? Rock and roll, rinse and repeat on, steps 9 through 15, and you will have complete freedom from liability, from taxes as much as is legal and aggressive, and from the stress of not knowing what to do at any given point in time.
Okay, I'm still looking this up now. I'm going to be downloading it. Well, I love it. And plus, side note, I'm going to be starting another business. So perfect. I am definitely going to take advantage of this, Ryan. So,
I know a
um,
guy.
and okay, yes, I have my business. Yes, I'm an attorney. However, there's certain expertise. I am not a business attorney. So if I'm opening up my next business or I'm a new entrepreneur, what are the common mistakes when it comes to issues when starting up an entrepreneur business, or even just say you're 6 months into it, that our viewers should know about in order to avoid them or to at least prevent as much pitfalls as possible?
Yeah, so it's going to maybe sound weird to most people, especially when you talk a little bit more into the bigger game and the bigger money. But a very wise man, my mentor, told me never take on a partner unless you have to take on a partner. Okay. And so that's a really good one. So I think a lot of people want to get with their buddies or get with similar minded people, get with a whole group. Maybe your book club comes up with a great idea and then you want to run off and 5 people are going to jump off and start this business. Could 1 or 2 have done it and then the other 3 play a major role? Because once you get 5 partners with probably equal shares and equal influence, you're going to really start seeing friction, and you're going to start seeing issues. The money, people are going to want to pull money at various different parts of time. When it boils down to the end of the year, distributions has to be equal in accordance to percentages. That's another big legal issue that people get into. So are you taking a loan or are you taking a draw? And then, oh my goodness, somebody gets hit by a car and now they're not here and they've overdrawn their distribution account. And now you're sitting here holding the bag as the remaining business owner, right? And there's a lot of things that can go into that. So I would say protect yourself, protect the company, write things down. I mean, I just cannot stress that enough. Get the advice of experts. Everybody tries to go to YouTube, tries to look it up on their own, and the whole WebMD effect, right? Oh, well, I know all about taxes and I know all about legal liability. I'm going to write my own contract. I'm going to file for my stuff with the state. I'll do my own tax return. Whew, my goodness. Guys, work a little harder, grind a little more, get a couple extra dollars and pay the extra.
I love the fact that you just went, "Whew," because one of the things that I always see, people are like, well, why do I need a will through an attorney or a trust through an attorney? I can just do it for myself online, pay $150 for whatever program. I'm like, yeah, that's great. However, is it really going to fit your needs? And especially with business. And I mean, as you know, and I'm sure you are probably getting swamped with year-end reporting. We're closing out. If you're on a calendar year for businesses, closing out the year, getting all of that information gathered, making sure you have your receipts and all, the fun things that go with year-end. Um, I would definitely say the best advice I can give as an attorney and as a business owner is hire the professionals. The money you save in the long run is nothing compared to the cost of going to an expert, a CPA like Ryan Kahn. Ryan, I want to thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Legal Talk. And for our viewers, you can reach Ryan Kahn at 270-442-6688, or go better yet to his website. He has there is a link there that you can send them a message to get in contact, but also like the 15 steps for entrepreneurship, his freedom financial plan is all right there. And you can get that at www.c, that's S in Charlie, S as in Sam, B as in business, I, Z as in zebra, CON.com. That is csbizcon.com. Thank you, Ryan, and I look forward to having you back again real soon.
My pleasure. Same here.